What's up, everybody? Is Casey with Two Worlds Podcast, and with me, as always, it's the Paul Saladino to my Liver King. It's Jake. How you doing, buddy?
I'm great, man. I know who Liver King is because of the news this week, but I don't know the other guy.
Yeah, so Paul Saladino, he and Liver King both are like the big, carnivore diet guys, and basically they run the same companies, but like Paul, he does they have different names, but they're the same thing. And like Liver King owns both of them, and Paul does like the more like serious science based stuff. And then he's like, yeah, me and old Liver King, but calls him by his real name, are good friends. And like I don't think he does steroids. And like when the news came out today, which if you've seen Liver King, no shit, he's on steroids. And and so like when the news broke today, like he had to do this big fake thing where he's like, yeah, uh, I'm shocked by this. I'm shocked that he lied. I can't believe this. It's not that I'm gonna be just distancing myself from him, but it's like he still owns the company. So it's like he's not.
Right. Trying to save face a little bit.
Yeah, it's pretty funny because I just love anyone that's like, you just gotta eat like our ancestors did and take about $15,000 a month worth of steroids to get yourself to look like me.
Right. And also, who says our ancestors look like that?
No one.
Because mine sure probably didn't. But
No, I mean, both of ours came from the old Ireland areas, so both of us would be probably short, very pale. You know,
I shouldn't
yeah,
be wearing a white shirt today.
yeah. So it's just kind of it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, folks, we can promise you that our physiques are not affected by steroids. This
Yeah,
is
we
100% natural.
yeah we are both natty as hell. But hey, if you got some steroids that you want to give me, why not?
Hook him up. Come on.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get into our news. You have a lot more than me. This was a light comic week and news week,
Yeah, it was pretty light.
but take it away.
Okay, so I'll start with let's go. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 trailer dropped, plus the Super Mario Brothers trailer, and then you have it, you got some trailer droppage too. But what'd you think of the Guardians and the old Super Mario?
So I didn't see the Mario Brothers
Oh,
one
you didn't?
because I chose not to. I wanted to watch it when it comes out. The teaser was one thing, but now I'm like done until I see the movie.
I gotcha.
Um, the Guardians one looked like a Guardians trailer,
Yeah.
Um, looks like they're gonna change up some rocket stuff again, which is whatever. But yeah, no like strong thoughts one way or the other. I'm sure it'll be like the other two.
So I think there's aspects of it that I liked. Like I mean, just there was humor in it that was pretty good, and then it looks like it's gonna pull at the heartstrings, which I'm excited about.
Yeah.
But I hate how Drax just keeps getting dumber and dumber and dumber. It just annoys the crap out of me. And then also the little bit that we saw of Warlock, not a fan. Not a
Yeah.
fan at all. Thought it looked terrible. So I'm
Right.
hoping it gets better, but yeah, not feeling it. And then I'm gonna really quick. I know you didn't watch it, but I'm gonna be very negative. I did not think that Super Mario Brothers trailer looked good at all. And it's not just Chris Pratt's voice because I don't think Chris Pratt's voice is that bad. It's as bad as everyone else's voice, where it's like, oh yeah, you don't sound like the characters really, but that's not what they're going for.
Right.
So, but yeah, it just looks like a to me, for me, it looks like a just like the stereotypical comedy movie where I was like, oh well, look at me, I'm the hero that is kind of a loser at first, but then boy oh boy, I bet you by the end of it, I'm gonna be pretty awesome. It's gonna be that like that's exactly how it looks, and I'm just like the we don't need this.
Yeah.
Like if there's ever been a character that needs to be, in my opinion, like a oh, it's a Marty suit when it's a man. Like that's Mario. Just be like, yeah, I'm a plumber who can beat up turtles for some reason.
Yeah, we don't need anything more than that.
Yeah,
Like, let's just be honest about it.
yeah. So I'm not feeling too good about it, but who cares? I think people are going to either love it or hate it already, just because they're Mario fans or because they hate Chris Pratt, one or the other.
Yeah. Yeah, the trailer that I made notes on was the Indiana Jones trailer. Did you see this one?
I I watched parts of it on my phone. It looked fine, but it's hard to get hyped for an Indiana Jones movie after Crystal Skull. What'd you think?
Well, it looks like they're going to be doing a lot of like time travel stuff.
Yeah.
Like they showed so much that I'm like, can all of that be flashbacks? I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's what's weird though. They showed so much without like actually showing anything though. That's the one good part about that trailer where there's sometimes with like a lot of the Marvel movies where like we're gonna show a lot and you won't need to see the movie. And with this, it's like we don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah,
So like it's a well cut trailer. I'll give it that.
sure. Well, we'll see how it goes.
Okay, so we got the first official Blue Beetle poster. Also, looks about what do you expect for a Blue Beetle poster? Did you see it?
Nope, but I'm Googling it right
All right.
now. Oh,
Yeah,
it's got the scarab on it.
yeah, I'm
That's
pretty
pretty
sure.
neat.
Yeah, it's like this is what you'd expect if you were hoping for more from the comic book company that does this every single time one of their movies comes out and they need a poster. It's always the insignia first, which it's exactly what you expect.
Yeah. I really I'm a huge fan of that um mashup of like kind of teal, purple, and pink. I think it goes well together. So I like that they just kind of leaned into that heavily for the whole thing.
As off subject, but as a teal fan, then are you a big fan of like how many of these different NBA teams are embracing the teal? It seems.
Yeah, I do actually. I think
Yeah,
it's pretty neat.
I agree.
I think people, when it comes to the jerseys, either love it or hate it, but no one's like, it's okay when it comes to teal, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think teal is one of the ones that it's almost always looks good, and I
Mhm.
say that now, and then like there's gonna be like one that's just terrible. But
Right.
right now it looks pretty good.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay. Wonder Man. Some news broke about that. That's gonna only be 6 episodes. So I mean, I think that's gonna be a good amount for that series. I think the way the fans spoke, She Hulk went a little too long. So I think having 6 for another probably comedic show on Disney Plus is about the right amount.
It's kind of weird. I feel like if people aren't feeling the series overall, they're like, yeah, it should have been shorter. But the
Yeah,
same people will be like, oh, I wish there was more if they're really liking it.
but
So
you
there's
that's
just no way to win.
that's what you always want though. You never want it to be like, oh man, I really love this show, but 18 episodes. Oh, it was a kind of a struggle getting through. You want them to be like always coming back for more.
I agree.
Okay, and then I will mention 2 more things and let you talk, but because I think one thing's going to go into one of your things pretty well. There's some Ultron leftover AI bots, and they're going to play heavily into Armor Wars, so that's pretty interesting. I actually like that idea a whole lot. I've been wondering because like when you kill someone off screen for the final one, they're not actually dead.
Right.
So I'm curious if that's what they're going to do or how that's going to work, but yeah, I think it's gonna be cool. I wonder if they're gonna bring in Victor Mancha. That seems like that'd be about perfect.
Remind me who that is.
You would have known him from AI Avengers, Victor,
Oh, okay. Sure. Sure.
because spoiler alert for the Runaways, he is Ultron's son, and
You think that James Spader will be back for voices?
I think so. I mean, he does that. I think that's a pretty easy paycheck because it's just like he's not really doing too much, but he does the little that he does very well.
Dude, I loved him as Ultron. That
Yeah,
like oh
it
good.
it's not like it's this hard work for him, but at the same time he kills it, so it's just like you got to keep paying him.
Yeah, for sure.
And he'd be stupid not to. It's not like he's having to do his own stunts as a voice actor. Okay, and then
What
Michael
if he
Gand.
did though?
That would be hilarious. It's like we didn't even ask him. He just ran. He just let Chris Hemsworth punch him in the face.
Yeah, he puts on the suit with all the little the
Yeah.
motion capture suit.
All right, and my last bit before I toss over to you, Michael Gandolfini, related to Gandalf, I'm pretty sure, has been cast in Daredevil Born Again. It hasn't said who he's going to be yet, though, at least not in what I saw.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either. But hey, speaking of Daredevil Born Again, I saw right before we hopped on this little meeting here that Deborah Ann Wall and Eldon Henson will be back for Daredevil Born Again. So
Nice.
there we go.
Eldon Henson's Foggy, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Okay, nice. So, yeah, because I mean, she had just talked the other day when she was on Inside of You that she hadn't been asked yet. And it's just like, you can't not have her back, like,
Right.
especially after the way, unless, like we talked about, unless they're just like, man, she was a real pain in the neck. We got to kick her out of the thing that we made her a partner of.
Yeah.
I'm just glad they didn't go the Frank Miller, Brian Bendis route with that character because, boy, did they just treat her terribly in the comics.
Yeah. I mean, was she the one that sold out Daredevil to
Yeah.
Kingpin?
So she went.
Or I meant, was he the one that made her do that? I know she
Yeah, because basically, she didn't even not even to Kingpin. It was like she just wanted to become an actress, couldn't become an actress, so she became a porn star, and then she got human trafficked to South America, and then she was like, "Oh, I need," she needed money because she was addicted to drugs. Thanks, Frank Miller. And then she was like, I'll tell you Daredevil's identity, and then because she didn't have any money for drugs, and then so she tells them, and then that got back to Kingpin.
I see.
Yeah, and then Kingpin just killed everyone up in the line except for her. So
Well, I don't know. I doubt they lean into that too heavily, but I bet they put her on drugs or something like that, you know.
I hope not. And then then in Bendez's run, um, they faked her having AIDS, and then Bullseye killed her, if I remember right. It was something like that where I'm like, seems terribly unnecessary.
Oh gosh. All right, I'll do my last bit because it's sad and I'd rather end
Yeah.
on something else. So Peter David suffered a series of strokes this last week. He is in the hospital. Um, he had one, and then his wife put out a post that was like, he's recovering. He still has lots of comics he wants to make. And then he had a couple more strokes. So now he's in the hospital. He has a GoFundMe set up. If any of you want to donate to that, but you can look that up. And then to add to the sadness, George Perez's wife or widow came out and started selling George's old Hawaiian shirts because she needs some money. So if you want to buy a shirt or just send her some money, you can do that too. But God, is that just the worst and saddest thing I think I've ever said on this show?
Yeah, that's terrible. Like what really makes me mad with both of them is because like I was thinking I looked it up after I saw the George Perez thing. First off, with the GoFundMe with not George Perez, with the Peter David stuff, the GoFundMe, they're like, yeah, we're gonna take a 15% tip off of what you give to Peter David, which pissed me off a lot, and that's why I ended up not giving anything. But like Peter David created Spider-Man 2099. That's about to be in a movie. If Sony/Marvel paid their writers, he wouldn't need a GoFundMe.
Yeah.
For this creation that, that's going to be making them lots of money. And then how many characters George Perez responsible for that has shown up in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? How many things has he been responsible for? His wife shouldn't ever have to, worry about money for how much
Yeah.
money those movies have made.
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
ridiculous.
some some higher up at Disney needs to just cut them both a check as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And not even just like business shit, just as a good person.
Yep.
You know? Who knows, man?
But they don't, but that's the thing. They don't give a shit about the comic book creators.
No, they don't. The other question I had, and maybe you know, is Hero Initiative helping either of these
It,
instances?
I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure it has to be helping Peter because that's kind of like the whole point of them. I don't know as far as since George Perez's wife, if she'd be getting help since she's just the widow, but I think it helps the families too. So, and a fun fact too, if you have like a lot of money, and when I say a lot of money, think of like an amount that would be a lot for this, and then like times it by 10. Todd Knock is doing he did a variant cover for all the money going towards Peter David. It was a Young Justice variant cover that he did, blank ones, and he did the whole group of Young Justice when they were working on it together. And like last I saw, I want to say it was like over 11,000, but it's on Todd's eBay page right now.
And good for him. What a
Yeah,
fucking dude.
yeah. It's like this is. He even says like his wife left a note because his wife, it's like the only real difference as far as like kindness between the two is like she's vocal about his kindness while Todd seems to be very quiet about it. So she was like, this is a very special piece for Todd because he's not like he's too busy to do commissions normally. But when he found out about this, he's like, I had to do something. So then he did this. And it's like, but in his busy schedule. So
Yeah. We've both met Todd a handful of times at various C2E2s, and he's always the nicest fucking guy at every
yeah.
show.
And his wife is a delight also.
Yep.
And speaking of C2E2, the bastards, I got my email back. They rejected us. No Two Worlds podcast at C2E2.
Yep. We tried, folks. We tried.
So let them know. Don't buy tickets to the old Two Worlds podcast con.
It's coming happening right next door.
Yeah, it's coming right next door. We rented out the McCormick place also.
Just kidding. We'll be on the beach of Lake Michigan. It's going to be freezing.
Yeah, but we will be in banana hammocks.
Oh, man.
Okay, and then IDW is making 6 new TV adaptations of their comic books, and then I didn't feel like writing it all down, so this from comicbook.com, and I'll read the different ones. Bacchus, is that how you say it? Bacchus. You're
Sure.
a comic book shop owner, you should know. But yeah, they're doing that. It's by Will Davies, who did Lyle Crocodile, Man vs. Bee, How to Train Your Dragon, and Chloe Moss. All write and executive produce the series, which is based on Eddie Campbell's subversive drama that drops the gods of ancient Greece into present day as if they had never left. And then we got Dragon Puncher and Spoonie, and Holly Huckins is set as showrunner and executive producer for the series based on the book Dragon Puncher by James Kochalka. It's the Eisner Award-winning comedy adventure chronicles the exploits of Dragon Puncher, a cute but rather ruthless kitty who dons his heroic armored battle suit as he punches out evil dragons together with sidekick Spoonie, a fuzzy little friend armed with a wooden spoon. Okay, and then Corgi by Ari Wallington, Spirit Untamed, Spirit Writing Free, blah, 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 joins as the showrunner for the television series based on writer-artist Christian Slade's beloved dog opus that follows the stories of a corgi pup in epic fairy tales of adventure. Lodger, Max and Adam Reed will serve as showrunners, and Patricia Riggin will direct the psychological thriller based on David and Mara Latham's IDW published graphic novel of a young woman bent on revenge against a serial killer who she blames for the murder of her mother and incarceration of her father. Relic of the Dragon, Brian Q. Miller joins as showrunner for the series based on the graphic novel by Adrian Benatar and Miguel Angel Garcia. The fantasy action adventure follows the journey of Uruk, an ordinary man hunting for a relic of enormous power, the most dangerous undertaking of his life. The choices Uruk makes along the way will change his life forever, along with the fate of his entire nation. That sounds like one you'd like.
It does.
Satellite Falling, Will Pascoe. has been named as showrunner, executive producer, and Jude Wing is attached as a director slash executive producer for the series adaptation of Satellite Falling, based on the comic books by Steve Horton, Stephen Thompson, and Martin Morazo. Set in the seedy future, I almost said speedy future, set in the seedy future of radical technology, sentient aliens, and familiar prejudices, Satellite Falling is a sharp social commentary about the horrors of xenophobia as a corrupt Earth maintains a humans-only planet. Incredible creatures from across, man, that sucks that they won't allow dogs on the planet. Creatures from across the galaxy are forced to gather on Satellite, a city-sized space station near our planetary system. Okay, that's all of them. Any of those sound good?
Yeah, Relic of the Dragon should be fun. And also I've read a little bit of Corgi. It's a very charming book,
Nice.
about a little girl and her dog doing fairy tale stuff. So that should be pretty cool. Um, some of the others I had to look up. Dragon Puncher and Spoonie just looks so ridiculous and definitely not my thing.
Yeah.
But I don't really know that any of these are geared towards me. But what about you?
I mean, Lodger sounds like one that me and Bree could watch, but the rest of them, I'm not feeling it too much. Like that's one of the things I never think about IDW as a comic book company that has original content. Like it's always like, oh yeah, the place that has Godzilla and Star Trek and Planet of the Apes and this stuff, not its
Yeah.
own stuff.
Hmm.
Okay, my last bit of news. I'm kind of excited about this, but Warner Brothers Television Studios is close to finalizing a deal with Amazon for new DC animated stuff. And so they're going to be, taking over, doing it just like they do Invincible, that type of stuff. Um, it could be really, really good. And at last I actually heard they have finalized it. It's going to happen. So,
Cool.
my one thing is I wonder if it's going to be on HBO Max and Prime at the same time, or if it's just going to be on Prime.
Oh gosh, I bet Amazon doesn't let it anywhere else, but who knows?
Yeah. I wonder how that's also going to affect the whole like extended connected universe stuff that they want to do.
Right. I agree. Maybe that's all part of this plan, though. Who
Yeah.
knows?
And the one nice thing though is like you can tell from Invincible that they can get top tier voice talent.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, oh yeah, we got J.K. Simmons in this, the Oscar winning actor J.K. Simmons.
Yeah.
So they can pretty much get whoever they need.
All right. And that is the end of the news. So we're going to take our ad break and then we'll talk some comics. So we will be right back. All right, man. I don't have any fun stories or anything, but we can definitely do another Sonic Mad Lib if you want.
Yeah, let's do it, bud.
All right. So, a noun.
Fan.
A noun.
Sock.
An adjective.
Smelly.
A noun.
Feet.
A noun.
Cow.
An adjective.
Veiny.
A plural noun.
Geese.
An adjective.
Uh, Chonky.
I like it. A noun.
Chode.
Oh, that's gonna be funny. A place.
The Appalachian Mountains.
Noun.
TV.
What is it?
TV.
Oh, TV. Person in the room.
Casey.
Did you look at your girlfriend first?
No, she's not in here.
Oh,
So
okay.
I there's a mirror I'm like, oh, it's just me.
Oh shit, it's just me. An adjective.
Handsome. I'm hoping that's about me.
Don't get your hopes up too high.
Damn it.
Plural noun.
Um, I'm gonna go with trying to think of something stupid but not overly perverse. Tires.
Adjective.
Flat.
Plural noun.
Um, Cars.
Person in the room.
Casey.
Let's do a different person. We'll do me.
Jake.
Okay. And adjective.
Handsome again.
No, different one.
Oh man. Um, Smoldering.
Okay. All right. Here we go. I hate that fan, Dr. Eggman screamed as Sonic raced by. I will catch that sock hog. Sock hog. Oh, that's amazing. That's the new name for Casey's penis.
Yep.
I will catch that sock hog if it's the last thing I do. And once that smelly Sonic's gone, the whole feat will be mine to conquer. The super evil cow has been known to ruin things that Sonic loves, especially nature and veiny, fluffy geese. The chonky Dr. Eggman is a sinister chode who wants nothing more than to control the Appalachian Mountains, even if it means destroying every single TV on the planet in the process.
I like that we're really body shaming Dr. Eggman with this.
Yeah, he deserves it.
The old cow, the chunky chode.
Casey has sworn to stop him and make the world handsome again. One of Dr. Eggman's favorite things to do is capture furry tires and turn them into flat robots to help him collect the Chaos Cars. But his greed is usually his undoing, as Jake uses this quality to defeat Dr. Eggman and his army of smoldering robots.
Nice.
So there we go. Veiny, fluffy geese and
Sock
chunky
hog.
chodes. Yeah, sock hog is amazing. Ah. All right, I'm glad that we were a part of Sonic's adventures that
I
time.
know. It's just like your, fan comic you made when you were a kid.
Which one?
The one where you called Robotnik old chode.
I love imagining that he's like, I have to take control of the Appalachian Mountains, and the
Yes.
only way to do it is to destroy all of the televisions in the world.
Like Sonic's like, are you sure you don't have a tumor?
And he looks over at Tails, and Tails is holding up like an electronic tablet, shaking his head.
That's terrible.
Anyway, IDW, hire us to write your books.
Yeah.
It won't be worse than Ken Penders.
Ken Penders is listening to this right now, and
Just
also
scribbling notes.
Yeah, he's just like, also, if you are watching this right now, take a drink because we mentioned Ken Penders again.
For real, we got to come up with bingo.
Yeah.
All right, folks, welcome back. If you would like to hear Casey and I do another Sonic the Hedgehog Mad Lib, then you can do so over on our YouTube channel. That's Two Worlds Podcast on YouTube.
And if you'd rather have Kenneth Penders write a comic book of us doing Sonic Mad Libs and then making what we say into an actual comic book, send him probably like what, $25 and a chili cheese dog via mail, and he'll send it back to you. You just got to find his address. That's the hard part. Or you can just, not have to talk to him and watch the YouTube video. But
Yeah.
what'd you read, man?
All right. So I read the Nightwing annual, the Batgirls annual, Strange number 8, and JSA number 1.
Wow, this is a very light week for you. I got a good bit more. So I got Planet Hulk, a return 1,000 years in the making. Planet Hulk, Stillwater number 16, Godzilla Rivals, One Shot versus Gigan. I'm not gonna lie, you'd enjoy these. Most of these one shots. Just tossing out though. Blue Beetle Graduation Day, Detective Comics Annual, Superman Kal-El Returns Special, Strange, and the Batgirls Annual.
I meant to grab the detective annual. I would have read that. Did it tie in with the story?
Uh,
Okay, I'll skip
yeah,
it.
I'll talk about it. I mean, you might like it, but yeah. Okay, so I'll start with Planet Hulk World Breaker, and this is by Greg Pak with Manuel Garcia doing the pencils. And so, yeah, you got these. It's on Sakar. It's in the future. You got stories of the Hulk. There's basically like there's people that are like talking about how when Hulk was it's one of the I think they call them the Greys, and then there's the Pinkies. Like you've read World War Hulk, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so they're all on there, and they're kind of like, yeah, I don't know about what this gray lady's saying, talking about how the Hulk's bad and all that stuff, but they're all very much down on their luck. And she's talking about how all the green people, for some reason, there's a whole bunch of green folk on this planet. So it's like maybe Hulk had more kids. I don't know how this worked. But then there's this, the old man, and then like it kind of makes you think, oh, this could be Bruce, because he's like looking up, he's smart, he's green, but he's small. And then at the end, it's revealed, spoiler alert, it's Amadeus. But Bruce is also on Sakaar. So it's like, I want to know more of what's going on, because that's basically all you get from this. Like the greenies are under attack. Okay, that's about it. Then we get a Scar story, which is kind of cool because I've not read much of Scar. I always wanted to, but just never got to. And so like this is actually a neat Scar story that's in the back. We'll get more of that next time for sure. But this is pretty solid. It's a solid jumping on point. As someone that just likes Greg Pak's version of the Hulk, it's pretty good. It's like I said, it's gonna be better collected. I can already tell you that much than this first issue. But it's got me to the point where I'm like, I'm gonna keep reading this till the end because I love Hulk. I like Greg Pak's version of Hulk. I want to know what's going on. So I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10.
Nice.
Okay, and then next will be Stillwater issue 16, and this is by Chip Zdarsky with Ramon K. Perez, and this is like 100% backstory. So we get to see how Stillwater became Stillwater, everything that led up to this point, and what happened to the person that kind of made Stillwater. It's wild what happens, all the stuff that this lady goes through. It's a really good story, really crazy, but at the same time, you're like, maybe she's telling the truth. Maybe she's just bonkers. It's hard to tell for sure, but I think she is telling the truth. And I really like it. It's written really well. And it's one of those things, one of those stories that we don't get a lot in Marvel and DC right now, in my opinion, where the writer is just trusting the artist. And like, so like the artist is just like, there's not a lot of words on the page. Like there's all these writers now that are like, no, we have to explain everything because the people are too stupid and my artist isn't good enough. Chip's trusting Ramon to do his job. And then like that makes for a better story. And so that really works really well. The story itself doesn't always kill it for me, but other than that, I like it. I'm gonna give this probably 8.5 out of 10. Really, really liked it.
Wow, that's cool.
Okay, then Godzilla Rivals, and this is by Keith Davidson with Sid Vin Blue on the art. I think that's how you say the dude's name. And like, I'm just gonna start talking about the art. The way he draws, or they draw people, not my favorite, but like I'll show you one of his little bit of the people. Like, not nothing bad. It's just not my favorite.
Sure.
But I'll get to this splash page.
Huh, that is incredible.
Yes. So it's like, yeah, it's not the best, but holy crap, just killing it with his Godzilla and Gigan fighting. Because so basically, the story is the aliens have connected the servers of all of these online play video game players stuff like this Mortal Kombat ripoff, and they're using those moves that the people use for Gigan's cybernetic brain so that he can use those against Godzilla. And he's actually taken to Godzilla this way. And then like the lag is how the sister who does security, how she finds out, oh, connecting the dots, because like when it lags, Godzilla's able to get a hit in, basically. So then yeah, that's basically what happens. And then she like is able to hack into their thing because she's a security expert, and then stop the lag. So then it has to come back to Gigan's old brain, old monster brain, and Godzilla just wipes the floor with him. Such a good book. These verses are like the best Godzilla stuff we've gotten comic book wise in a while. So good. I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 10. It's my pick of the week. The only thing that annoys me is the next issue. They're like, we got to get Rodan in on this rival stuff, but not just Rodan. We'll do Ibra at the same time for some reason.
I don't know if I know Ibra.
Ibra is the big lobster.
Ah, okay.
It's like, boy, you who doesn't need one of these? Ibra.
They just need someone for Godzilla to like whoop up on like super quick or something. Like
Yeah,
that's got to be it.
don't give it don't make it like Ibra and Rodan. Just make it Rodan. Then have at the beginning, he's having a lobster boil.
It makes me happy though that the Godzilla book is your pick of the week. The only
Yeah,
reason I wasn't picking these up is because I felt like, oh, there's probably like they don't tie into each other. There's probably like no story, but it sounds like they're pretty good.
They're pretty good. They like kind of lean more into the Showa stuff, but each one has been really, really good. And since they're thicker, you don't need as much, of the story, like connecting story, if that makes sense. Like if it was just like, one of these little DC books where it's like this, this tiny and there's not much to it, then I'd be like, boy, I could use some connecting story. But
Yeah.
yeah, for me, you don't really, it's not necessary for this big of a book.
Right on. Okay, so I'll do JSA real quick. It's written by Jeff Johns with art by Mikhail Hanin and Jordi Belair. So based on what I just told you, the art is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Story's all right. Like I read, uh, since I was gone when it came out, I picked up the new Golden Age and read that just to see what was going on in here. And so we definitely get some more Huntress stuff. It's basically just a continuation from that new Golden Age, but we get some flashback stuff. It's pretty Power Girl heavy, and yeah, I don't know. It's interesting enough. I'm gonna keep giving it a go. I'm still a little like I'm bummed that it's Jeff Johns, but at the same time, I loved his last one, so I just gotta hope that it'll be, about that,
Yeah.
same level. So
Yeah, the main reason why I didn't pick it up is because like when I read the Golden Age, it's like, yeah, it's gonna be very heavy. His version of Huntress, which I'm like, his version of Huntress will be like his version of Batman and not very good.
yeah.
Was his
But I did like though when he does write the old JSA characters, like
yeah.
it's good parts.
Yeah. My one question is because I've not read a lot of his JSA, but was his Power Girl as like whiny as she was when he wrote her, like talking about why she has the hole cut out? Because that was so lame.
No, I mean what I remember, he just made her kind of a tough gal.
Because I think it was in her like own series where she had the big talk of why she has the cutout. She's like, because Superman's super, and I don't feel like I'm anything. And then like Jimmy Palmiotti retconned that really quick when his series, when he took over. It's like it's because I got big boobs.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't anything as lame as that.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, I'll give it like a 7. Interested to see where it goes.
Right on. And then you didn't read Blue Beetle, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So Blue Beetle graduation day. Find the name really quick. But who did like how come why didn't you read this? Figured you would have been interested.
Um, I mean, not really. I'm
Oh, okay.
interested in the movie, but like,
I gotcha.
I've never really read any of Jaime's solo stuff.
Yeah. Okay. But it's by Josh Trujillo with Adrian Gutierrez on the art. The art's awesome in this, like super, super good. The story itself is just kind of fine. It's gonna be pretty good for a 6 issue series. Uh but yeah, so like the his baddies are coming back. The whatever they're called. Oh, I'm blank on their name now. The I don't remember. Whoever the his group, the Expanse, I think maybe they're coming back, and he's got to deal with that. And the Justice League was able to hack into the thing when the whole message came across, so Batman knows about it, and so Superman then comes to him and tells him, "Hey, you got to be grounded. You're not going to be superheroing for a bit because we can't trust you with the whole Expanse coming back." And then he gets kicked out, has to go work with his grandma, and then yeah, it's a fine book. My thing that annoys me the most is, and we talk about this every time we talk about Spanish speaking characters in comics, because they only do it for them. If it was a Chinese speaking character, they wouldn't do this because they know no, people don't read Chinese. So I don't know why they go out of their way to do this for, English speaking book and then be like, let's switch over to Spanish.
For one word.
Yeah. Well, like this is like whole panels because like his parents both are Hispanic and they just start talking Hispanic or Spanish randomly. I'm like, boy, I guess this is less reading for me because I barely passed Spanish class.
Right.
So I mean, it's just like I guess this is one way to make it so I don't have to read all your stuff. But the art in this is super good, though. That's the big takeaway from this book is art's very good. Stories is kind of so. I'll probably keep checking it out for now, but yeah, I'm gonna go 6 out of 10 probably.
Okay. Next for me is the Nightwing Annual. The first story is written by Tom Taylor with Eduardo Pansico on the art, and the second story is written by Jay Kristoff with Eduardo Pansico on the art. The first one is totally just a an origin story for Heart Stealer or whatever his name is. Um, it's so like sometimes I wonder if there's a creative bone in Tom Taylor's body because he literally just gives this kid his own Alfred, except the kid is a little psychopath and so is the Alfred, and the Alfred just kind of caters to him being a psycho and like killing animals and stuff like that. Feeds into him being a serial killer. And then yeah, the kid is like in his teens and gets in a helicopter crash, so they have to give him a heart transplant, which starts the whole him taking different hearts or whatever. And then that ends with yeah, the butler putting in Blockbuster's heart into this guy. So I guess we'll see what happens in the main series. Can't wait. And then the second story was a lot more fun. And it is essentially like Dick's like, I'm going to stay in with my dog because she's been acting up lately. And then Barbara like shoots him a nude text and he's like, JK, I'm going to go get laid. So he leaves. And while he's out with Barbara, he's like, oh, I feel bad. But, he's like, I wonder what Haley's thinking about, though. And then the whole comic is what Haley's thinking, which is pretty fun. So she wears like a little Nightwing shirt and she can fly. And she comes in and saves the day against like Poison Ivy, Mr. Freeze, and Catwoman. And then the mayor builds a statue in the dog's honor and declares Haley's Day. And a bunch of dogs are like sitting in front of the podium listening to the speech. And then Dick and Barbara get back to Dick's place, and Haley has actually just destroyed the place, like knocked over a plant, destroyed his like Nintendo Switch. There's stuffing everywhere. It was really funny. Oh, and there's a third story by C.S. Pacat with Inaki Miranda on the art. And it's just one of my least favorite things about Nightwing, which is a team up with John where he just teaches John how to like fight. And then John's like, thanks, same time next week. Where did you learn this? And he's like, oh, I learned it from Batman. The end. Whatever. I mean, I like that Nightwing is like being a mentor for him, but I'm also like kind of getting tired of it because it's just
Yeah.
happening so damn much in this book.
Yeah.
Like, let it happen in John's book.
Right.
But whatever. The best part was the dog story, hands down. I thought it was charming and funny. So I'll give this like a 5, and all of that 5 goes towards the dog story.
Right on, man. Okay, so Detective Comics Annual for the old 2022 by Ram V with Christopher Mitten and Raphael Albuquerque and Hayden Sherman all on the art. And so you get old dude with the girl with the late, crazy eyes talk at the beginning, and then he goes like, oh, because I was here back when Arkham was a thing. And then it's just one of those stories where it's like, oh, it'd be Salem witch trials type era, and it's like, yeah, we like, look at this. The Scarecrow is a preacher who's using people's fear to do stuff. And then Jim Gordon, he's a detective in this time too. And then, oh, look at this. There's this guy who's, there's this kid whose parents got killed, and then there's this like dark, smoldering loner that's with him, that's comforting him. That's clearly, Bruce Wayne. And it's like, I hate stories like this where it's like, this takes place in the past, and all of these people are just people that are in the present time. There's this like guy that's Two-Face, and there's a girl that's Poison Ivy, and I hate stories like this so much. And then like, oh, at the end, the Bruce Wayne guy becomes a Batman type thing, and he fights off the stuff, and then it comes back to the old the one dude talking with the lady with the weird eyes. Basically it's like, oh well, we had the whatever engine in the church, and that's
They're
why this
called
stuff
glasses, by the way, dude. She doesn't have just weird eyes.
well, I thought it was like robotic eyes or
No,
something.
I'm kidding.
Okay. I mean, I didn't know if they're fancy glasses. I'm not fancy like you and your St. Louis tower or whatever you live.
What?
You live on the high floors in St. Louis. I'm a simple farmer. I don't know these fancy words. But yeah, so they're talking, it's like they have the whatever engine, and Batman's the corruption in the engine, and blah blah blah, and this stuff's been repeating for years, and I thought it was stupid. I really thought that was so stupid. I was just kind of bored out of my mind while I was reading. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, it's probably a 3 out of 10 for me. Like I said, you might like it because you like that older setting more than me. But it's really annoying when they're like, oh yeah, this stuff's been repeating forever. There's been a guy dressed like a bat for years. And it's like, I mean, you can kind of work that into Grant Morrison's run where he had Batman, but still, even that was stupid. Don't take that from his run.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm definitely not sold. So
Yeah. Okay. And then you didn't read Kal Returns?
no.
Okay. So this is the last one before we get to our mutuals. The Superman Kal Returns is bunch of stories. You would have liked it if I'm being honest. Uh, First story though is a Mark Waid story about, find the artist really quick, but it's Mark Waid with Clayton Henry on the art, and like Superman and Batman teams up. They team up, fight Mr. Nobody, which with Clayton Henry's art, and Mark Waid writing it. Such a not my favorite combo to have Mr. Nobody. Like Mr. Nobody needs to be like out of the box type of thing. And so like having Superman and Batman fight Mr. Nobody just didn't quite work, but the after stuff with Superman and Batman is a lot of fun. It's just them being bros. Like I think you've probably seen the pictures online of like Batman making Superman breakfast afterwards and stuff. Did you see
Right.
that?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, like, because Superman comes, he's like, oh, what, Batman's like, what are you doing here? And he's like, oh, I'm here for, truth, justice, breakfast. That's what he says at the beginning. And then they beat Mr. Nobody. Then afterwards, they're at breakfast, and Batman's like, still getting, he tells them about how he's like, it's like the closest Bruce Wayne ever got to the kitchen was ordering from a menu or hiring a chef. And then Batman goes, I'll have you know, I studied at Le Cordon Bleu. He's like, you did not. I did. It's like, in my youthful travels, you study martial arts, criminology, escapology, everything to do with fighting crime. Cooking would not have made the list. Everything makes the list. Crime relates to all facets of life. No, it doesn't. Sure, it does. Once in Brussels, my encyclopedic knowledge of egg whites led to the capture of a diamond smuggler. And like Clark's like kind of staring at him, and he's like, "How'd you going, jerk? Eat." Like, this is delicious. Great. Now maybe you can help me figure out the dishwasher. It's like this is dudes being bros, making each other eggs. It's great. And then the next story, it's by Cena Grace with artist Dean Haspiel on the art, and Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen and a friend in need. And so I hate the art. I'll just say this just to show it.
Oof. Yep, that's bad.
Yeah, it's not. It's like what's that movie? The Mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Jimmy looks like. But so yeah, like he's trying to get the perfect picture to announce Clark, Superman's back, and he can't think of anything. And then at the end they find one. And then the next story, like it's just kind of like whatever. It's a nice story, but the art just kind of took me out of it. Then we get a Marv Wolfman sighting with Jack Herbert on the art. And so it's just kind of like Superman teaming up with his son, Superman. And, Superman's also like at the beginning, he's like, oh, tells him he doesn't lie, but he starts off in Venice with Lois, and they're going to look at this pizza place. Like, this is like the joke that the thing ends on. And then like John's trying to work with him again on this Luthor stuff. And Superman's like, you're underestimating Luthor. He's very smart. And then like John walks into a trap, gets bad PR, basically. And
Right.
then he's like, I told you, you big dumb idiot. Yeah, and he's like, oh, okay, well, maybe I'll just go with you. And he flies along, but he's like keeping himself hidden. And then John, confronts Luthor and tells him, like, I get what you're doing now. Got it figured out. And then it ends with him talking to, John talking to Clark and Lois. And he's like, oh, by the way, I never asked, what'd you guys think of the pizza in Venice? Great or the greatest? And then they're like, we never got around to it. We were just so busy. Really doing what? Touring. Yeah, touring. And then he's like, and you said Superman never lies. And then the last one's by Alex Segura with Fico Osio on the art. And this was just fine. It was just Superman going back to the Hall of Justice, meeting the Justice League guys. Another fun story. And then it leads right into Dark Crisis. Like, this would have been cool if it came out before Dark Crisis. Because now now they're like, go read this issue that came out 6 months ago to find out what happens.
Right, for sure.
But no, it's fine. All in all, it's a fun book. I'm gonna probably give it a 7.5 out of 10. Nothing remarkable, but still a fun time. I think you would have enjoyed it though, outside of that really bad art.
Yeah.
All right, what order do you want to do these last two in?
Strange than Batgirls.
All right.
All right. So Strange number 8 by Jed McKay and Stefano Landini. And I'll be real, this was easily the weakest issue of this whole series.
Yeah, I still liked it though. It was just too much of this is our past stuff, kind of like just setting up for the next issue.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. It was just like, it was fine filler, but I didn't want filler. I don't give a shit who like the background of this person. Like I just want to get to them fighting him or whatever.
Yeah. No, I
So
hear you.
that's just my thoughts on it.
Like it's still I still thought it was pretty captivating, and the art in it is so good. The stuff that Strange is doing, it looks awesome. So I really loved it that way. Um, yeah, I mean, the way the like I said, the art's the big takeaway from this. The way that they draw, old what's her name when like Clara when she's like looking kind of pissed off about the
Yeah.
whole like all that stuff that Strange is like kind of is happy right now, and he really shouldn't be. It's done really well. Whole thing in general is just really good. I
Yeah.
got like a to me like a weaker issue of this is still better than a lot of stuff out there.
Yeah.
So what would you rate it, man?
Mm, probably like a 6.5.
Yeah, I hear you. I liked it more, so I'll say 7. Okay, and then next up it's old Batgirls Annual by Becky Cloonan, and I gotta find Conrad's first name. I always want to say Will, but I know it's not.
It's Michael.
Michael Conrad. If we ever meet him, I'm calling him Will. He'll be like, "It's Michael." I'm like, "Oh yeah, sorry." And then who does the art? Because I'm not even finding the thing. Have you found it?
Oh, it's Robbie Rodriguez.
Oh, Robbie Rodriguez. I love the art in this issue. What'd
Yeah.
you think?
No, I love the art a lot too. It was really good stuff.
And what'd you think of the story?
I actually like the story a lot.
Really?
Um, yeah, like I know it's got a Freaky Friday thing going on, but I like the idea of Steph having to fake her way around Lady Shiva and then Cass doing the same thing for Clue Master. Like also we haven't seen Clue Master in a really long time. Um, so I thought that was pretty interesting. Plus, like you said, the art is just so awesome. Yeah, I don't know. I liked it.
So like I liked it up until they beat up the bikers. And then I'm like, oof, this is not doesn't make any sense. So like basically they beat up the bikers and then Shiva takes um who she thinks is Cass, who's actually Steph, and Steph stays there with the bikers. And then she then, cuts a deal with the bikers, takes a drink of ginger ale, and then somehow they poison the ginger ale because they knew that they were going to be there because she's the one pouring the drinks. So they poisoned that ginger ale beforehand, knowing that she was going to be there to cut them a deal. And they knew that she wouldn't drink alcohol with them. And they knew that she would take the drink first. Like it, and it's also someone that can read body language. So she should have been able to know, oh, they're lying. So make like that part. And then also when she's there, doesn't have a mask on.
Oh,
She's
I didn't even notice that.
so like that part just really like annoyed the crap out of me. And then I really like yeah, it just didn't quite that. And then like Steph with
Well,
she Steph with Shiva.
the only thing I'm going to say about the no mask thing is that well the only defense I can come up with is that they're working for Clue Master, who I guess would I mean they know who he is, and if he's like we're gonna get my daughter, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but she doesn't know that.
Right.
So her, just be like, Batman's just sitting over there like, I can't believe they took off their damn masks. I can't believe they took off their masks again.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. I just didn't catch it at first. And the stuff with like the actual drink is stupid. So way to make me like this book that I liked a little less.
Sorry, man. And then also like Shiva should have been able to pick up right away that Cass isn't acting like Cass because she isn't. Like even though Steph's trying to, she's still not acting like Cass. So like Shiva should have been able to pick that up. It's just like as soon as that stuff happened, I'm like, boy, this next issue I have a feeling is gonna be rough because this is like they're stretching to try to make this make sense.
Yeah. I mean it's still my pick of the week, but I guess I'll bump it down to an 8 now.
Yeah, see, I'm at probably about a 6. Like I said, if it started off fun, but it just I don't know. And I'll be honest too with this type of book. Batgirls is like the perfect one just to have a throwaway annual. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, we're just gonna go balls to the wall fun.
Yeah.
And so like that's what I was kind of hoping to, but I knew we weren't gonna get that. The cover's awesome though. Can we just
Oh
talk about
yeah.
how great this cover is for those that
Yeah.
are listening? Super good. Okay, so what are you excited for this week, man?
I am excited for Quested, which is that book I talked about a while back that promised to be like Legend of Zelda. Then I'm gonna say Sword of Azrael and gosh, probably Thor. It's been forever since we had a Thor book. So
No, no Donnie Cates for that one, right?
nope, it's all Torun Groenbeck.
Right on. Oh, I saw that they're doing like one thing that annoys me with that new Thor. They're like, there's gonna be a new Infinity Stone because I just watched the Avengers. Okay, so I'm gonna go with do a power bomb, of course, Ghost Rider, and Fantastic Four because that leads well into this next thing, Fantastic Four for the week. If I can pull it up. The other day, this was actually like a while back when I saw this, but I was like, I'm just gonna keep it written out anyway. Cartoon Network apologized for scarring kids for life with the Scooby Doo Blair Witch Project parody that they made. Did you ever watch that?
No,
Oh, okay. So
I there was no chance I was gonna watch that.
because like when I was a kid, they used to do like the commercials on Cartoon Network where like they would just be random things like Blair Witch, and like they're like, oh, we're gonna do this at night, and like we recorded it, and like it ends. I'm just like, what the hell? Like it didn't scare me. I don't remember it scaring me, but I remember just being like, that's how it ends. It ends with a missing poster for the Scooby and the gang. They just killed Scooby Doo and the Mystery Incorporated group. Can't believe it. But give us four things you wish DC or Marvel would apologize for.
Sure. So the first one, I was trying to think of stuff that I'd actually read, and this one I haven't read, but it's One More Day. But I just
Oh, yeah.
know that there's not a single person that liked that. I've never heard someone talk about that book and say, I kind of liked it.
So I will say this. When I read it in trade, I was like, this isn't that bad. And then I read the Spider-Man Civil War and then Spider-Man Back in Black 1 and 2, like the two trades of that. Then I was like, no, okay. I get why people are mad.
So now the others I have read. The first one I'll say is Three Jokers. And not just the main story, just the whole idea around the Three Jokers is just the dumbest shit. And I wish that DC would have just mentioned it during the Dark Side War and then never touched it again because we didn't
Yeah.
need it. And also, the ending was so stupid. It was so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce just casually drives up to Alaska to see that the mom and that kid, amongst us always making fun of Jason and his love note.
Yep. That's my favorite
Everything
part.
about it.
That's the only thing that good came out of it is just the is my new head canon with Jason and Babs.
Right. Then I'll say Civil War 2, which was absolutely terrible.
Did read that one.
Bendis should be ashamed of himself. And it was clearly just a cash grab. And I guess we could kind of say just something I wish that both would apologize for are some of their events that just don't matter. But anyway, my last one of my like in my top 5 least favorite books of all time, All-Star Batman and Robin.
Yeah, that's rough.
It's absolutely insane. And literally the only good thing you can say about it is that Jim Lee's art looks good, but the story is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys are ever curious, like I like Batman, but I wonder what the worst one is, it's All-Star Batman and Robin.
Yeah, no, it was funny at the Acme in Bloomington. He actually had that all strand wrapped together, and he wrote on it the worst Batman story, the second worst Batman story you'll ever read.
I know what he thinks the worst one is.
Yeah, that dude's hilarious. But okay, so for me, I'll say New 52. They should apologize that to both the creators and the people that were reading comics at the time. Like there's some good stuff that came out of it, but so much of it is just like them going, yeah, we won't deal with that anymore. We'll just go back to the way it was before New 52. Okay, thanks.
The only thing that should not be apologized for is Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Uh, I mean, like Scott Snyder had some good stuff, but like that would have been the same if no New 52, you know.
Yep.
Heck, it probably would have been better because they could have worked more continuity into it. So, yeah, I'm just not a New 52 fan. And then I'll say the Ultimate Universe. It's like what started off as a pretty solid idea, just became like batshit crazy. The more it went on, they're like, yeah, it's gonna be more realistic. So we'll have like, I'm trying to think like Wanda and Quicksilver will be doing it, but they'll still be related because that's realistic. Hulk will eat people, or no, Blob will eat people. Hulk will just rape people. And then we'll kill off most of them, and then we'll try to keep it going. Still, like just only real good thing that came out of that would have been Miles.
Yeah.
That was towards the end. Um, and then I'm gonna piggyback with three Jokers, and then like when I say three Jokers, I'll also just say event books in general, like Darkest Night and other stuff, where it's just like, wow, you guys are really doing this. And then my last one is not paying your creators. Y'all should apologize for that, and they should feel terrible.
Yeah. I I agree with that. I was mostly thinking like, dang, what books are just bad?
Yeah, I
But
know.
you're right. We definitely could have gone a different route with that too. Okay. Well, that brings us to the end of the episode. So folks, if you would, I'm taking out Facebook, Casey. I'm doing it. We don't do shit with that.
This week I'm gonna post on Facebook. Hopefully, maybe we'll see.
Well, I'll believe it when I see it.
If
So,
I could
folks,
connect it to our Twitter, I would.
yeah, there's not a way somehow.
Dude, I'm not a Gen Zer. I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough.
Got to get my nephew to hook us up, like how I used to have to do whenever I was younger. Have him work with old people.
Anyway, you can follow us on Twitter at 2_worlds_PC and on Instagram at 2worldspod. You can also email us at 2worldspodcast@gmail.com. And if you would, subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's 2Worlds Podcast on YouTube. We do fun stuff like make fun of people that come into my store and make an ass out of themselves, or do Sonic and Godzilla Mad Libs.
And leave us a comment down below. See if, like, I don't know, maybe you're like, I'm a real big fan of King of the Hill. Do some King of the Hill Mad Libs. Damn it, Bobby, we'll try it. But we'd love to say in chat, but I need to get some old HGH up in my butt. So Jake's got the needle. He's going to take care of me. Bye, guys.
Bye.